Good morning. I need a coffee.
I slept in because last night I could hear mice running around in the ceiling of this van. Good morning, everybody. After spending a week in Alice Springs restocking, giving the van some TLC, catching up with friends, and also picking up some items that I've been waiting on for a while, we are finally back on the road. We're at Red Bank Gorge, and it's the first campsite before we head towards ULURU. I am so pumped. ULURU has been a bucket list destination for me for a long time. I know it probably is for a lot of you, but I'm also excited about it because once I get there, I'm no longer going to be traveling alone. I love it when he just sits out there and just enjoys the view. Such a big box. Such a little guy. He's actually way smaller than I thought it was going to be. I love it when you can just tell shit is made well and a lot of thought has gone into the design. This is the EcoFlow Delta Mini Portable Power Bank. I'm going to tell you guys more about it later in the video, but for now I want to do a few days real world testing. Well, as you can see, we're not really in too much of a rush to leave this place. Unlike the previous couple of videos, I don't have a huge distance to cover, and really I'm just enjoying taking this travel really at my own pace at the moment. A lot of you will be pleased to know that I have chosen the safer route for getting to ULURU. There's actually two ways you can go from Alice Springs. You can either go around the Mereenie Loop, which is considered some of that four-wheel drive only. That does pass Kings Canyon and a few other really popular stops. Or you can go down the Sturt Highway and across and you're on bitumen the whole way. And I've chosen to go down and on the bitumen the whole way because on the way back, once I have company, we are going to be going the Mereenie Loop. I am loving this glorious sunshine. Now, buddy, I hope you don't mind sharing your seat. So where I camped on that edge there, it's a little loop off the main road. So I've driven in from that direction, obviously, and it wasn't too bad. It was a little bumpy. This is considered four-wheel drive only, again, this kind of campsite. However, the way out looks a little hairier. Just nice and slow. Okay, so I'm going to do something I've never done before in the video, but after the last couple of videos, quite a lot of people have been asking me how I fly the drone solo and how I get it to follow the van. So I'm going to give you a very quick tutorial. And from my point of view, as opposed to what other solo people were doing, there's actually a bit of extra work involved because a huge part of it for me is distracting Occy. You wouldn't believe it with how mellow this guy looks now. But if he knows the drone's up, he's like a pinball machine in this van. He goes crazy, he barks so loud, and yeah, he runs all over the kitchen countertops. So first step is always putting Occy in the back. The next step is getting everything prepared. And for those that have asked, this is my drone that I'm currently using. I used to have a Mavic Pro, but now this is a Mavic Air 2, I believe. He's not too suspicious just yet. All right, so check battery levels. Always check your SD cards in the drone. Okay, now this is the most important part. I've got everything connected, but the problem is both the drone and the remote make a sound that Occy knows so well when they turn on. So this is where I crank the static. Sorry, it's gonna be a bit annoying for you guys, but you'll understand. So I just put on the tuner. So out here, drone is now ready to fly. Now you can see I've got the drone up and it's where I want to fly. It's angled well with the van. So now I drag a square over the van and I can click active track and I'm going to click trace. And so that's good to go. Hit go. And so now it's going to follow the van and I can still change that angle a bit so I can see a bit better skyline. And now I'm just going to hit record. And so that's recording. So I'm going to turn this one off, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to screen record on the drone so you can see what I see whilst I'm driving. Now, whilst I'm driving, I don't really even look at the actual phone. I just sit it down next to me because it's following already. So hopefully I got a couple of good shots with that one. And now when it comes to landing it, it's pretty much the exact same in the reverse order. I'll crank the static again, put it down. And that's what we call a successful mission when Occy does not find out. A key for launching and landing for me is doing it where he can't see out the windows because he's gotten so good at looking for it. He even looks in the side mirrors, so I've got to be careful to really position it right in front. That's it, guys. I hope you found that helpful. Let's keep moving. What do you think, bud? Well, we have made it to the overflow car park at ULURU, just outside of ULURU, and I am so excited to be here. But I've got to admit, a large part of that excitement is because my best friends, Sam and Jess, and their dog, Alfred, which I can't forget because he's also one of Occy's best friends, is joining us tomorrow, and we're going to be traveling with them on and off for the next long while. I'm so excited. I've traveled with them before, and and yeah, I cannot wait. And to be honest, I've loved this trip so far and I've loved the solo time, but for me, always traveling and anything in life is better shared. Well, now that His Majesty is eating, I want to take this opportunity to quickly thank today's video sponsor, which is EcoFlow. As you guys saw a couple of days ago, I unboxed the EcoFlow Delta Mini, and straight away I was surprised by just how small it is. It's about the size of a 6-pack of long necks, and it weighs about the same. It weighs about 10 kilos. And just a bit of background in case you haven't heard of EcoFlow before. EcoFlow were founded by leading creators in the drone industry, and they make eco-friendly power solutions that allow you to have power in any location, no matter how remote. So some of the features of the Delta Mini is that it has a lithium-ion battery. Its output of 1400 watts is enough to power 90% of electronics, and then you can use X-Boost, which actually boosts its power to 2200 watts, which will allow you to power quite heavy equipment like a vacuum cleaner or a power saw. It's crazy in this smaller device. It also has big storage in 882 watt hours, and there's 3 different ways you can charge it. You can charge it while you're driving the car. You just plug it into the cigarette socket. You can also plug it into any standard AC wall outlet, and that will charge it from 0 to 80% in under an hour, which is crazy fast. The third and final way to charge it is with solar. You can link up to 2 160 watt panels, and they can charge it in just over 3.5 hours. Considering I rarely plug into AC power, I'm definitely going to be chasing some solar for it because I think that's a great way to charge, and it goes along the same eco-friendly lines. Personally, I'm super impressed by it. I love the USB-C port for charging my laptop. I also love that it's small enough and lightweight enough that I can just slot it under my passenger seat. The fact that it powered my coffee machine, steamed the water, and also my air fryer, no problems. So far, it's handled everything that I can throw it in this van. For me, the Delta Mini is going to be super handy on rainy days where I'm not getting a lot of sun and I just want a little bit of extra power, especially if I'm doing work in the van. But I think even more handy would this be for people that don't have a power setup, that are just going on weekend trips and want something that can power their devices. If you are interested in picking up one of the Delta Minis or any of the other range of the EcoFlow portable power stations, they are currently running a huge promo for Prime Day. So check out the links in the description below and see which one's right for you. Really keen to keep finding bigger and bigger appliances to really put this bad boy to the test. But for now, I think I'm going to join Occy. It's time for sleep. I'll see you guys in the morning. Morning, buddy. Enjoying this sleep in. Who is it? Who is it? Who is it?
How you going? Yay!
Who is it? Straight into it. Oh.
Not camera shy at all, bud.
Okay, so as you've all probably guessed, Jess and Samuel, I feel like
pretty warm over here.
I've featured maybe in 1 or 2 videos along the way.
Sam's been on the camera before, and as I've already said, very excited for these guys to arrive. They actually have 7 months off. How long you been on the road for now?
1 week from
yeah,
Melbourne.
just over a week.
Yep, 2,500 kilometres down.
Yep, 6 months
Plenty
and
to
3
go.
weeks to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they both have
Very
long
keen.
service leave from work, so they're actually not van bums like me and have problems.
Not yet.
And how have you found it first week?
Oh, so good.
Pretty good.
Alfred's a little legend who's adjusted
Yeah.
to van life best. He just gets to sleep all day and
Yeah.
go for lots of walks.
No
He's loving
mishaps
it.
so far?
We have had a little mishap, not from Alfred. We did break our induction. Well, when I say break, it smashed a couple of days ago. So we are currently using a little portable gas cooker, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know, it's just part
That's
of it.
van life.
They have a beautiful van conversion, which Jess, we'll show them later. Could you? I'm sure Jess probably wants to make sure it's nice and
Go do a
tidy
little
in there. Now we're going to catch up and maybe go to ULURU tomorrow.
Yep, that's
Yeah.
fine.
For those wondering what the weather's like, that is ice on the skylight this morning. It's not what we signed up for, Ock. You're not looking so wide anymore, buddy.
You ready, boys? You share the bed, Alfred. Got whole bed to yourselves.
See you, fellas. Be good. Okay, now I know it is going to be so hard to do this place justice because the sheer scope and size of it is insane. Uluru is 348 meters tall. It is 10 kilometers around the base, and most of it, like an iceberg, is actually underground. There's another 2.3 kilometers going underground, which is crazy. In 1985, it was recognized again to be owned by the traditional owners of the land, the Nanangu people. And yeah, it's really cool. I'm going to try and show you a little bit of it, but as I said, it's so big, I'm just going to give you a little glimpse of it. Also, how good's my new cameraman? Okay, so we have made it to the dark side of the moon, and on this side there's actually a lot of areas around Uluru where you're not allowed to film or show, and that's because Uluru is a sacred site for the indigenous people around here. So please, if you are visiting, be respectful. Now, I did mention earlier on that dogs aren't allowed in the national park. You've obviously noticed Occy and Alfred aren't with us, but we wanted to show you that we are still on top of how they're doing. Sam, what do you got there?
They were spooning
live
before,
cam
but...
of how they're travelling. Both very settled at the moment.
Is it a
pleasant 21 degrees in the van?
So you can see Alfred on the left and Occy's kind of hidden in the right. So some of you might be surprised by just how green and how much vegetation there is around the base of the rock, but Uluru itself actually averages over 300 mil of rain a year, and this year in particular they've had a lot of rain. So that's why there's so much green, and there's also a lot of wildlife here. It's beautiful and such a contrast to the rest of the red desert all around it. The temperature has just dropped a good 5 degrees because we are coming up to one of the only water holes at the rock, and yeah, it's crazy. You can see how a lot of the water accumulates here. So this is just one of the examples of some of the Aboriginal rock art that's all around Uluru, and it's crazy. It's been carbon dated to be up to 10,000 years old, some of these paintings, and there's evidence that Aboriginals have been in this area for over 30,000 years, which is absolutely insane when you think about it. The Australian Indigenous culture is the oldest living culture in the world, and I really feel like that doesn't really get enough recognition, and I think that is something that's starting to change, and it's really nice seeing all the cultural tours and things here. We did a tour this morning and just learning more about the Australian history, and I think it's nice to see that everyone's getting involved in doing that. I really can't get over the sheer beauty and size of this place. It feels like it's something from another planet, and I was saying to the others that I was a bit worried that Uluru wasn't going to live up to the hype because there is so much hype around this place. But you know, the cultural significance alone makes it worth visiting, but on top of that, yeah, it's just incredible. And I've never claimed to be a tour guide, so I hope you guys have gotten something out of seeing it through my lens, but I highly encourage you, any of you, to come and see it for yourselves. And yeah, as I said, do it respectfully, but come check it out. well, despite it being a bit of a brisk start, you never regret getting up for a good sunrise, especially one like this that I'm not going to forget for a long, long time. It has been an amazing few days, and really, friends just help you take life a little bit less seriously. I hope you guys have all enjoyed it. Give Sam and Jess a thumbs up for being such good sports. I'm going to do a van tour of their van in the next video because we've run out of time in this one. We're heading off to Kings Canyon later today. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you follow the journey, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys. I said 88 litres and it's 88.5. So this is a new record for me. $3.02.9 a litre and a $268 fill for that one. Brutal. Absolutely,
oh boy.
Absolutely brutal. Oh.
Your shout, Maxwell.
So if anyone wants to become a patron,